Hello, everyone, and welcome you all to our second chapter of the JavaScript Beginners Tutorial. So now in our chapter number 2, I'll be showing you guys by writing the first code in JavaScript. So I'll be telling you guys that how you will be able to write the first code in JavaScript, and also we're gonna learn about some different things of understanding about JavaScript, like how it is used, okay, and in what cases you guys can use JavaScript for your programming. So let's not waste much time and let's get started. So over here on my screen, as you guys can see, now I'm here in the homepage of my Google search engine. So this is the homepage of the Google Chrome. And you guys might be thinking, well, we are going to learn programming, but you don't have an IDE or you don't have an integrated development environment like any app where I can run my code. Okay. So the first programming, what we're gonna learn over here is basically we're gonna do that in our search engine or any kind of website. Okay, so if you do want to come to any of other website, you guys can also do that, and I'll be showing you guys how you guys can do that. So let me just type over here like google.com, and if I just click on enter, here you guys can see that I do have this Google browser right over here as well. So to start coding inside your computer, what you guys can do is you guys can right click, and now you guys can basically view this particular page source. Okay, so over here you guys can see this is the source of this particular page, and as you guys can see, this particular page is an HTML page. Okay, so over here you guys can see there are HTML codes, and also right over here we do have our CSS code. Okay, so we need to basically understand the usage of all of these things, like what a CSS code does. Okay, so CSS code basically helps you to actually design your page. Like if you do have any kind of designs like color, the type of fonts which you're used, okay, those are used for that. And also if you want to create a website, in that particular case you do need three things. Okay, you need to learn three basic language. One is HTML, other one is CSS, and lastly you need to know about JavaScript as well. Okay, so if I just come over here and if I just go into any other websites, okay, let's go to this pixels.com right over here on my PC. Like I can show you guys few of the examples over there. Otherwise, I can show you guys in this particular website of Google as well. Okay, so you guys can come here, and if you do want to view this page's source, you guys can see I do have the source of this page right over here as well. Okay, so this is a normal HTML page. Here you guys can see I do have that particular code right over here. And the same way, if you do want to go to the home page, you guys can see this is basically the home page. If you want to view the source page, here you guys can also view the source page, and also it's coding right over here. Okay, so let me just delete this one. Here you guys can see this page is loading till now. Okay, otherwise you guys can also go to some different websites as well. Okay, so here you do have another website known as freepik.com, from you guys can actually download multiple videos, multiple photos, and also different kind of vectors. This is quite an amazing website from where you guys can explore different kind of images and also different kind of vectors. So if you want to view the source page of Freepik as well, here you guys can see I do have the codes of this Freepik. Here you guys can see it does contains the initial scale, the class over here, and also here you guys can see you do have all of this code right over here which you need to use if you're planning to develop a website. Okay, so let me just come here, let me just delete all of this, and let's go to the first code where you will be writing. So you guys can right click over here, and under right click, you guys can just click on to the inspect option. And here, as you guys can see, once you click on to this inspect option, here you guys can see under the elements, you have a lot of codes. Okay, so here you guys can normally see you do have a normal HTML page right over here, and under this here there are a lot of pages right over here. Okay, you guys can check all of this out. Okay, and here you guys can see that here basically you do have the JavaScript. Okay, so as you guys can see here, this is basically the use of JavaScript. It basically brings strength to your web page. So let me come over here. Let me go to the console, and over here you guys can just type alert. Okay, so here you guys can see this particular alert function right over here, and I will just open parenthesis, and the thing using which we start is basically this hello world. Okay, so I will just come here, and if I just click on enter, here you guys can see now in the alert menu, Google shows me the hello world sign. So this is basically from the server side, like you don't need net or you don't need internet to show you guys all of this, because it's basically happening from your end. Like if you don't have any internet connection, you guys can still be able to do all this coding from here. Okay, otherwise the same way what we can do is we guys can come here, and we guys can just type console.log. Okay, so console.log, let's open parenthesis, and here you guys will get this one, or the answer of your search right over here in the console itself. Okay, now it won't show you in the alert section of the page, but if you click on enter here, you guys can see that it is showing you the result right over here in your console itself. And also using this particular console, you guys can do some basic mathematical equations, like you guys can do addition, you guys can do subtraction, let's say. Okay, if you just come over here, 88 minus 21, if you click on enter, here you guys can see the result right over here as well. And you can do multiplication as well. Okay, you guys can come here, make sure to use asterisk if you do want to multiply. Okay, so let's say 2, and if I click on enter, here you guys can see the answer is 152. And also if you just come over here, and if I do want to divide it, you guys can also do division as well. Okay, so all of this simple mathematical equation, you guys will be able to do it right over here. And if you ask me that, okay, only this much are we going to learn in JavaScript, I'll tell no, because we are just getting started, and I'm just giving you guys an intro of how to start your programming in JavaScript. Okay, we are going to learn a lot about this. We will install our dedicated IDE. Okay, I'll show you how to install and download VS Code in your PC as well. Okay, so now over here, let me show you guys other few examples as well. As you guys can see, I do have this particular Google page right over here. And as you guys can see, I do have this Google search button right over here. So if I just come here, and if I right click, and if I just click on inspect, you guys can see that I do have DOM code of this thing right over here. Okay, so I do have selected the DOM code of this particular button right over here. And here, if you guys take a look, you guys can check out the class, you guys can check out the value. Okay, you guys can also check out the name of this particular thing. So if I just come here, if I just keep my mouse on top of this particular code, okay, this particular DOM code of the button, you guys can see it's the class of this one is .g-no8nb, and you guys can also see the size. So from here, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come here, and now from here I am going to copy this one. Okay, so I will just come here, and I will just copy this particular class code. And now let me just go to my console. Okay. And from here, let me just clear my console first. And over here, now I'm going to type. So now if I want to get that same code right over here, what I need to do over here is I need to type document dot query selector. Let's open parenthesis. Let's open the double quote. And now I will just click on Control V to paste the code right over here. And also we signify class by putting a dot in front. And again, I will just close this one, will double quote, and let me just close this one right over here as well. So as you guys can see right over here, I do have this particular code like document.query selector. And now if I just click on enter, here you guys can see now the reference error document is not defined. Okay, so here it shows me that this particular document is not defined right over here, because now over here under document you guys can see that I did make a spelling error. Okay, so I will just clear the console over here again, and let me just type document dot query selector. Okay, so here you guys can see I already do have query selector. Let's come here and let's open parenthesis. Let's close this down again. And now Control V to paste it. And again, let's close down. And let's close down the bracket right over here. And over here, I'm going to put dot to signify. So if I come here and if I just click on enter, you guys can see now the whole code of this particular button is right over here for me, which I can use as well. Okay, so here this is how you guys will be able to target. And also if you do want to click this particular button, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna copy this one. Let's come here, let's paste it. Otherwise, if you do want to copy this, let's say copy, and let's come here, Control V. Okay, and after that what I'm gonna do is I can just click on dot click. Okay, so as I do want to click, I will just type dot click. And now let's click on enter. Here you guys can see it is showing me a syntax error. But the same way, if I just come here, let me just type document dot query selector. Okay, query selector. Let's open parenthesis. Let's open this one. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come here and I'm only going to copy this one. Let's come here. Let's click on Control V. And again, I will just close this thing down and let's close down this bracket as well. And after that, let's click on dot click and let's open and close my parenthesis right over here. And if I just come here, you guys can see that I can click this one as well. Like if I click on enter, you guys can see it's showing me an error. So basically over here, you guys might be thinking that why it was showing me an error right over here. Because we need to understand that we don't have anything right over here. So if I just type ABC, let's say, and now if I just come over here and if I just copy this thing using Control C, and now let's come down, Control V. And if I just click enter over here, you guys can see I am able to execute this thing without clicking. over here onto that particular button. So you guys will be able to understand in a better way. If I just come over here, let me just close this thing down. Let me just open up a new web page. Let's close this thing down. And over here, now let's go to this particular website, which I do have over here on top as well. So from here also you will be able to download different kind of images, different PDFs, and also different kind of vector images as well. So you guys can check out this particular website. But now, let me just tell you one thing. If you do want to come here, let's say, if I click this one, I will get this kind of drop down menu right over here. So now let's try to inspect this one. Let's right click. Let's click on inspect. And over here, basically what you want to do is you want to come here and you want to search for IDs. Okay, so this is also a HTML page. So for that, if you are not able to find it right from here, you guys can just click on Control F. Okay, so while you are over here, let's click on Control F and you guys can just type ID. Okay, so if you just search ID, you guys can basically see and you guys can come down and see where all you do have this particular keyword ID. So you guys can come here and on top, basically you guys can see that here I already do have an ID. I can use that. Otherwise, I can just come down and also I can just try to search some IDs, because once you put the ID of the page right over here, you will be able to get that particular set of code from there as well. Okay, so let me just click right over here and let me just try to come down. And over here, you guys can see now I do have the iframe ID equals to Google ESF. Okay, so over here now let's come to my console. Let's clear my console right over here and let's type document dot. And as I want to get that particular element right from here, I'll just type get element by ID. Okay, so I'll just type get element by ID. Let's open parenthesis right over here and I will just put single quote. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come here and I am going to take this one and let's click on Control C and Control V. Let's close down the quotation and let's close down my parenthesis from here as well. Okay, so if you want to get the element by the ID, and if I click on enter right now, here you guys can see now I got the element inside this ID function right over here. And also if you do want to click on that, you guys can just come here and let's click on copy. Let's come here, Control V, and from here I will just type dot click and I will just open and close parenthesis right over here. And the same thing if you click on Control C, let's click enter, Control V. And now if I just click on enter here, you guys will be able to see that you do have clicked on that particular button. Okay, so here you guys can see once you click on that button, you are redirected to this iframe page. Okay, and the ID over here is Google/ESF. Okay, so this is how you guys will be able to use these pages right over here. So I hope you guys do have understood this particular class on how you will be able to create your first JavaScript. Okay, like how you'll be able to program your first JavaScript inside your browser. Okay, and now I have told you guys few of the basic things that you must know before starting for the things what we are gonna learn right now, like how you'll be able to check out any website's code. Okay, so you need to understand that CSS programming is used to design a page, and a JavaScript programming basically brings strength to your page. Okay, it brings some more logic to that. Okay, so we need to understand, and also in our next class we will discuss in depth about all of this topic. So I hope to see you all in the next chapter. Till then, take care and goodbye everyone.